Hi everyone, welcome back to the Oat Milk Lesbians. I still can't see the screen. Okay, what are we talking about again today? We're talking about something very important because we were doing a Twitch stream just now about Thai GLs and we noticed that they all have very toxic tropes.
Yeah. So how we eventually got here is because you guys, if you haven't done it already, please join us on our Twitch stream. Well, it's supposed to be once every fortnight, but then we've been busy. But we have Twitch streams like every Saturday, 12 p.m. Malaysia time, where we stream Southeast Asian... Sunday. Southeast Asian sapphic content.
Yeah.
And the reason why we wanted to do this initially was because we felt like it was very underrepresented. And as you all know, we complain about white queers taking up too much space in the sapphic scene. And that is still valid. Fuck everybody who cancel us. And at the same time, when we tune into media of any sorts, actually, like it's always filled with the same stuff from Western sapphics.
Yes.
And simply put, we were just very tired of it because we felt like the representation was ass to say the least, actually.
Yes.
Stop taking up so many fucking spaces. So that's why we wanted to have an initiative of our own whereby we stream Southeast Asian sapphic content because, of course, many of y'all are pretty acquainted with like Thai GL, like the most popular Southeast Asian sapphic content lah. Pretty sure you all are like very acquainted with it. But still, we obviously didn't just have the intention to stream Thai GLs, although they are more accessible. We still want to stream a lot more other Southeast Asian film or like shows. But for now, we actually just have been streaming Thai ones so far because there are a lot on YouTube.
Yes.
And we need to have streaming services that we are already subscribed to. A lot is hard because it's like on Prime and shit. And we cannot put illegal content lah. So yeah. But then, after watching 4 Thai GLs,
Blank, Gap, The Secret of Us, The Affair.
4. And we have been feeling...
Brain rot!
Yes, it's horrible.
Okay.
To say the least.
Okay. First, we started out with Gap. So Gap is the subordinate and the boss or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Initially, we were like, oh, ha. But then we realized that first of all, the subordinate has this like very obsessive behavior over the boss, which first of all, fucking red flag. Second of all, the boss seems to be like this bitchy ass motherfucking woman who doesn't fucking know what she wants or who is always giving attitude, very bratty.
Yeah.
And okay, the thing about, I don't know lah, it's just a fucking trope, that's number one. Oh, there's also infidelity in it, right? And secondly, it's also because the production quality, for some reason, and the storyline, the plot was so bad that every single time we watched like a couple episodes, we would feel so drained. Like it was that bad. And I think also, I remember this happening in mid-June during Pride Month because we had to go to an event after that, right? Before we went to the event, we were watching the Gap. We were watching Gap, and then after 2 episodes?
Yeah.
2 episodes or something like that. It just feel dead. Like no energy left, and it felt like our body was physically tired even from it. And it's because of the plot. It's because of how. It wasn't interesting at all. It had terrible tropes, the production quality. And okay, fine, you don't want to complain about production quality, but everything was all the angles were sang at, okay? Secondly is that the color grading, you mentioned that it was like very like bright or something like that one, right?
It was too bright.
Yeah, and the fact is that the subordinate kept wearing bright pink, which made it worse. Okay, fine, whatever. So we stopped watching Gap the series, like even 5 episodes in, I think. Cannot remember already. Okay, then after that, we started on Blank the series. 1 episode in, we were like, fuck this shit, we're not doing this shit anymore. Why? It's because it is literally how many years apart? I think she was like freshly out of high school or something like that. And the other person was working already, like 30.
Yeah, she was in her 30s.
30s already. So you imagine like an 18-year-old girl and a 35-year-old woman, right? First of all, anytime, like I mentioned this on the stream, right? Anytime you wonder if it's okay or not, just replace the other person's gender with a man. Like if a man were to do that, that's not acceptable. So a woman shouldn't be doing it. And it was kind of fucking annoying because first of all, the plot was fucking annoying. Fine, the production quality was good lah, okay? Secondly is that, what were we saying? Secondly, is the whole fucking 35-year-old woman with an 18-year-old kid, and the 18-year-old kid was so fucking annoying because she kept using this fucking baby voice.
Yeah, and that's pedophilia, by the way.
Yes, it's disgusting. It's really, really disgusting. Okay, next we watch The Secret of Us. Okay, The Secret of Us, we finish everything. Surprise, surprise, we finished everything now, okay? So, I would say the production quality was better. I personally think that the storyline was better. It was better. The thing is that it had this, to a certain extent, emotionally abusive sort of trope to it. It was emotionally abusive and it was, I don't know lah. I would definitely say it's better than Gap and Blank lah. But it's still to a certain extent a little bit problematic. And also the wedding scene at the end was so fucking weird, if you remember. It was so fucking funny. There was like 10 people who attended and then they were all just randomly dancing in a circle. It felt more like a ritual than anything.
Yeah.
And then, okay, fine. Secret of Us, it was better. And then we're watching The Affair. The Affair, the plot technically is better. What I found weird, and I think you found weird too, is that it started out with the two of them being teenagers or kids or whatever. Why are there somewhat like sexual scenes between two teenage girls, right? But then again, you can also say the same for like Western high school movies. Why are they having sex? Why are the kids having sex? Okay, fine, you want to say that, fine, right? But then it feels a little bit dirty because sometimes, you know, when you think about, and first of all, they're wearing uniform. So the thing this reminded me of is that how people have these kinks of two women or two women in Japanese school uniforms scissoring. That's what it felt like to me. That's why it was a little bit, that's why I got the ick, you know?
Right.
And because I've seen men around me who like those sort of things. And it's kind of disgusting lah. It's really kind of disgusting lah, okay? And then on top of that, it was what? After that, we saw that there was like unconsented sexual advances, which to me personally, I felt like if I was a director, it was me pulling it's a very cheap method of trying to gain as much marketing as possible to bait queer people. But the director is apparently a dyke lah. So okay, fine. If she wants to pull that, fine. You're not a straight man sexualizing queer women, okay, fine. But in terms of like storyline and plot, is just very cheap. Like there's no proper storyline that kind of like builds up to them having chemistry and them having sex or kissing or whatever. It just seems like it just gets slotted in wherever it can be slotted in to build that tension in a cheap way. That's what it felt like to me. Yeah,
everything she just said.
Yeah. And okay, so for The Affair, right, we have watched until what season? Season 1, episode 5. We have watched until episode 5. So we have
There's
6
seasons?
No, sorry, I only know season 1. There's episode 6, 7, and 8 left. So we have 3 more episodes left. But basically, it just felt like a lot of power play also, like we mentioned on the stream, right? That one party is working and the other party is a broke-ass bitch busking in the city and shit like that, right? And the other person, the one who has money, is so possessive lah, don't hang out with this person lah, or this and that lah, why are you working here lah, na. So many things lah. It just felt like a power play. And I know that a lot of people look at us, the two of us, as like, oh, these bitches fucking complain about everything. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine, you guys want to say that. But the thing is that, okay, the reason why I'm fucking bringing this up is that it's not to say that we're not appreciative of queer representation in the media when there's literally none. This is the only representation that we have. So to me, the logic is that we have such limited representation. So why do we, like, is content for us to consume and content for people who are outside of the community to consume as well? Why do we allow this kind of things to be that sort of like representation for our community, if you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to be unappreciative, but why do we allow this kind of thing? Why do we set such low standards for ourselves, right? When the streets have like so many movies and so many things, and they have good and bad. And I'm not saying that we as queer people don't have good films, but Southeast Asia, I'm so sorry, but I have not seen a good one lah.
Yeah, and I hate it when y'all say that. Y'all be saying us. I remember I saw in the comments you guys were saying that, oh, so typical of women tearing other women down lah, jealous lah, meh, lah. Like there's barely any representation and these bitches are so privileged to complain. And I'm just like, why the fuck are you guys complacent? literally, like as she just said just now, this is not only representation for us, but it's also for other people to consume. And why is the narrative that we are constantly pushing out like all these toxic ones? And honestly, you guys say that about us, but I feel like the stuff we are demanding is not even that bad. First of all, why would you promote pedophilia, number one, workplace harassment, number two, what's the other one?
Which one? Emotional abuse.
Emotional abuse. And the fourth one, non-consensual. Why are you promoting all these things? And it's like very obvious things that happen that like, okay, literally, if you put a man there,
Correct.
like literally like what she just said, if you put a man there, everybody would be like on Twitter like, oh, this bad, this bad.
Yeah.
But then you guys would be like, oh, I ship.
Yeah,
So you guys are the one who are like being super fucking double standards to these kind of things. And it's just so fucked up because honestly, there's already enough problems in the sapphic community that's being enabled. But you guys, oh my god, I just remembered that I had one more thing I wanted to give you just now for the red flags. Straight as a king.
Oh.
I'll save that for the next one. Okay, but anyway, the point is there's already like a lot of problematic things that we are dealing with in the community, and yet you guys are continuing to like affirm this kind of things. Like, why do you want to put... Okay, the thing is, right, like it's not like people don't even have the capacity to make other things. They make toxic things and you just accept it and you call it a day. And then you blame people who actually want better and demand for better. Like, I think that's a crazy thing to say, to be honest. And I think, if anything, like, if you guys have, like, disagreements with us on this and you feel like this kind of content, like, can you really look yourself in the mirror and agree that it's okay to push out content that is, number one, pedophilia, number two, workplace harassment, number three, emotional abuse, and number four, literally sexual harassment, again, like non-consensual thing. Like, how can you look in the mirror at yourself and be like, okay, yeah, I'm okay if all this content like goes out about sapphic content. And I know you guys are going to be very defensive saying like, oh, okay, no, we need to support until it gets better, blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly what we're doing. We are supporting and we are demanding better. But yeah, I swear, you guys like, the minute like people criticize, I feel like you guys always take it as like something negative when it's not something negative. We are in fact providing... It's not even constructive criticism, it's basic criticism. It's basic to the point that we are trying to make sure that we don't keep producing these kind of things. And what's wrong for demanding that? Are you okay if you constantly see movies where a man is like doing non-consensual stuff with a woman, where it's always workplace harassment, pedophilia, all this? Are you okay if that is even in the straight one? Because I'm pretty sure you guys will have more to criticize if it's a straight film industry.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then suddenly when it's like sapphic, just because you think it's your own people, then you cannot criticize it.
Yeah. No lah, I just think that... I don't know, man. It's not that we're not being appreciative. I just feel like we can all do better. We really can do better. Because I said this on the stream too, is that I feel like Southeast Asia, right? Let's just not talk about the Western side, because the Western are producing queer films, more queer films, and all of that is popular and whatever. So speaking of like Southeast Asian creators, I feel like we do have a lot of people who are very capable of producing a lot more better storylines and a lot more better plot. And to a certain extent, I have felt like, again, like I said, all these cheap shots of being able to slot in lesbian sex and two women kissing or whatever anywhere that they can is technically a marketing tactic. But if you talk about like, there are just so many people who are capable, you know, to do a lot more better storylines and all of that and direct the movie better and all of that. I just feel like we don't have, like these people do not have the resources to do that and do not have the support to do that. And it's just so fucking sad because we really can do better. I know we really can do better. It's just so fucking saddening that, you know, it turns out like this lah. But then again, I don't know the reasoning behind all of the directors, what they do, why they do what they do. That could be the reason where they are just trying to push out the material so that people can consume it more and get them more, you know, whatever it is, opportunities and whatever. Fine, you want to do that, fine. But at the same time, I just cannot accept.
Yeah, I can't accept it either. Like, I'll give you guys an example. One of the queer film that came out, like, I think last year or something, it was First Kill. It was on Netflix. It was like a lesbian vampire show.
Oh.
So that show actually got a lot of criticism, and understandably so, because it's very cringe. And I would say myself, after watching it.
Yeah. What is that, Never watched it before. First Kill.
Okay. Yeah, so it's very cringe. But That one, I would agree with you guys. I don't think we should be criticizing them too much because then it got cancelled. And then, like, as everybody knows, like, for example, Heartstopper always gets renewed. But then, like, when it comes to GL or any, like, sapphic ones, it's always cancelled after a few... I think Warrior Nun was one of it also, right?
Warrior Nun.
Yeah, so that one, and I know a lot of people also say Warrior Nun is cringe. But those are the times where I'm in agreement with you guys, whereby, like, yes, these are the things that we shouldn't criticize because I feel like those... Okay, first of all, there's no problematic tropes in there. Like
That's true.
Yeah, it's not like all these like fucking pedophilia, harassment. All
Yeah.
this. There's none of that in there. So that's why I agree for that one. We shouldn't criticize and we should keep supporting so that it can continuously get renewed. But for this one, where it's obviously like problematic as fuck, and you guys want to be like, don't be criticizing. It's like, are you crazy? Because like I just feel like those others, okay, they dabble in different genres also lah, which is I guess in a way then there's not a lot of room to like put in all these kind of things because the stuff that we watch is all based on real life and it's on real settings, so the plot is a bit limited for it to like go as haywire as it can or like as redonkulous lah. But it still stands, like we still stand on the fact that like this is not something that we should promote. And I just feel like, okay, because like, for example, like Southeast Asian GL, everything is like growing, right? Because it's already growing, like, I just feel like it doesn't hurt to be more thoughtful about the work you put out. And it's garnering so much international attention.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's wrong with wanting it to be as top as it can get? Like, it should be as good as it can get lah. I just don't think like, because like, okay, all these like start out as like YouTube series and they start out as like very small things, but then now because it's getting damn popular already, that so much so that it's already on Netflix and things like that. So I just feel like there should be a certain standard that we are putting out there. You know, I mean, we can't be like this forever. I don't want to be watching this stuff forever. Like this kind of brain rot things. It's really brain rot. And like, I don't know about you guys, but like, seriously, when we felt brain dead for like both Gap and Blank, right, we really thought of quitting this Thai GL thing.
Yeah.
Legit, you know? And I don't want other people to feel that way too. Because I just feel like, okay, I feel like for both of us, we are considered like average consumers. We're not even film critics. So imagine you put that shit out to film critics, it's like, what the fuck, right? And also, but like, okay, average consumers who aren't sapphic, I feel like they might feel brain rot too.
Yeah. Because the only thing stringing people on is the fucking wherever they can slot in a woman kissing another woman. That's the only thing keeping people watching or keeping people focused. Because it's not the plot. It's definitely not the plot. The plot ain't there.
Yeah, they ain't no plot.
You know?
Yeah, because the people only supporting this are all sapphic. So imagine a straight person watching this, like genuinely just want to watch this for like the plot or whatever. I also watch straight shows for the plot. I don't watch it because I care about straight people.
That's true.
So imagine you just apply the same standard to like sapphic shows. Will people watch this shit if they are not sapphic?
You know what? Somebody's going to comment, why do you care so much about the validation of straight people? Not about that, by the way. It's about representation. It's about representation. Exposure therapy. Exposure therapy, y'all.
Yeah.
That's that lah, really, guys. We really can do better. I feel like we can. I just... Okay, it's really not that we're not being... And I feel like the reason why people are so afraid to criticize the way that we are criticizing is because everybody wants to be politically correct. Because to a certain extent, some people would say, you wouldn't say this about white films, like films, Western films. To be honest, I feel like yes, because they have better resources, they have better budget, they have a lot of better things. Yes, they're able to push out things better, right? It's not about us being racist towards Southeast Asians. It's not about that. In fact, we want to support Southeast Asians more. But at the same time, when you talk about like value also, you cannot biasly support somebody and like them not having value. You get what I mean?
Yeah. No, seriously. And you know, like one argument I always hear, right, when I see on the internet, right, especially when it comes to Thai GL, because I know some people like argue on the internet with other people about these things the same way that we do. And their reasoning is always, Thai people have a different culture, you don't understand it, and maybe they are not too woke about these things. Why are you insulting us? I feel like that's such a backhanded insult, you know. It's like when people say shit like that, I get even more pissed. Because I'm saying like, so you think just because we live in Southeast Asia that we don't know like politics that well? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. No,
I'm pretty sure everybody's educated on this shit. It's just that all the films that are pushed out by like the wrong people. So, and for me, it's just very insulting when people say these kind of things, or even like Koreans, like, you know, when they like, you know, show all those very problematic tropes, same thing like this lah.
Yeah.
You know, like damn abusive boyfriend and all, like power play, money, everything. People will say stupid shit like, oh yeah, but that's Korean culture, like, you know, they are like that, so you can't like say this, like basically like telling you, oh, it's people's culture, so you shouldn't meddle in it. Then my question to them is always, why do you keep putting people at this one space? Like, why do you keep people stagnant? Do you think Koreans don't know this is problematic? Why do you think they have 4B movement? Why do you think they have this and that? I feel like you are just insulting the intelligence of other people.
Yeah.
And it's just very like, I think it's even more insulting for people to defend and say those things rather than criticizing it as it is. Because yeah, obviously people can do better. Like, look at how much better the Korean film industry is now. It still has its problems, no doubt, but compared to so long ago with all the problematic K-dramas, it's like none of those would have flied today already. Because like now they have a lot more stuff on Netflix and you have Western audience, so everybody knows that Western audience tend to pick up on these things like a lot more sensitively.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like if it's just like a small show locally, people tend not to criticize as much.
Yes.
Until it goes international. Point is, I just feel like why do we need to keep people stagnant when the matter of fact is we can actually do better.
Yeah, we can actually, and this is coming from Southeast Asians ourselves. Sure, we may not be like
Literally.
we may not be Thai people, but honestly, okay, like we mentioned in like the stream, right? These Thai GLs are following the Thailand film industry is kind of following after the Korean film industry. They're like taking a lot of inspiration from Korea just in general, right? Where was I fucking going with this? Point is, we are also from Southeast Asia. If we from Southeast Asia have enough IQ, a high enough IQ, and enough intelligence to know what is a good film and what is a bad film, what makes you think Thai people don't know what is a good film and what is a bad film? Confirm they know what is a good film, what is a bad film. Okay?
No, seriously.
Like, yeah, actually the whole thing about like, oh, it's their culture is really a backhanded thing. It's really actually really fucking insulting because you assume that we are not smart enough.
Right. No, imagine if you watch a Malaysian show, which, well, first of all, I do not watch many because they are very problematic. It's pretty similar to like Korean one now, where there's the mother-in-law involved, the drama, and then the most common trope that is in all these Malay shows, the woman gets raped and she marries her rapist because then it's like halal and like it's don't know lah, what the fuck. But it's very fucked up one. I watched like a few and I was like already I quit watching Malay shows after that. But my point is, if someone tell me and they watch it and then they're like, no lah, that's the way of their people, I'm gonna get pissed at you.
Yeah, no, I'll be like, hell nah.
Right. Like, you think we're dumb as fuck to condone that? No, right?
Bro, yeah, if somebody fucking said that shit to me, I'd be like, oh, you shut the fuck up, bitch.
Yeah. No, I would be actually like really pissed that you think that we would condone that just because it's produced from our country.
Yeah.
Hey, just because produced from one country doesn't mean everybody condone with it, right?
Correct.
Oh my god.
Correct. In fact, actually, speaking of like Malaysian films, the only films that I support in Malaysia are like short films by local creators. I don't watch like the larger scale productions one.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth watching.
Yeah.
It's either rape or it's either ghost.
I feel like it's more also because I don't know, man. I just feel like I never really bothered to kind of like get into the more commercial side of films when it comes to like locally produced Malaysian films. I don't know why. It just never appealed to me. Like all the trailers and everything, it never appealed to me. And also the horror thing, I fucking hate horror movies. That's why I don't watch anything horror related lah. But I've heard a lot of things about like I have heard about the whole rape situation and all of that, and like how people are criticizing Malaysian films as to like, oh, why would you ban something with like a gay scene, for example? What's that? The Woody, the Buzz Lightyear. Why would you erase the gay scene when you have child marriage in a film or when you have rape in a film? So you are condoning rape, you're condoning child marriage, but then gay cannot, Buzz Lightyear cannot. You know that kind of thing. So there's a lot of these things. So I never really bothered to get into it. But then when I got into watching like local short films, literally like terrible budget short films. But I do that because I support them and because they are very creative people and good shit comes out of it.
They are heaps better than the local.
Yeah.
In case you guys are wondering, it's because I didn't have Astro last time. So I only watched like TV3, like TV2, all these. That's why I end up watching a lot of like local Malay shows. But then when I watch it, I'm always like, it's damn traumatizing.
You know, last
Because
time,
people will get raped all the time.
yes.
And I'm like, no, even as a kid, I also felt like that was very uncomfortable to watch. Then I can't even imagine like why the mass audience would think this is okay. Unless they condone it themselves. Okay, anyway, you were saying.
No, I was saying that, like, you know how like Chinese movies,
Right.
I don't know why always somebody die one.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
always fucking sad one. So every time I watch a Chinese movie, I feel depressed as a kid, man. On all the NTV7, I'm like, why is this
That's
fucker
so
dying?
true.
Every time I turn on the TV, some fucker is dying, and then everybody's crying, and then suddenly I'm crying. I'm like, why the fuck am I crying?
Yeah,
I don't even know the movie. I don't even know the storyline, but I'm crying too. But to be honest, they do that very well because they get me to cry.
Right.
When
right.
I don't even know the story and everything. But yeah, the point is,
The point is, I don't condone that. And nationally, not everybody will condone that. And if you think it's wrong, you should point it out. Not defend our people for no reason.
And the thing is that, like, I would say it's really just, it's not about us being racist and being more biased towards white people. In fact, we hate white people.
Yeah,
as we have mentioned many times before.
And made an episode about it.
Yes, but the thing
You
is
cancel us for.
Yes, that y'all cancel us for. And they have more resources. They really do have more resources. Why is it? Do you think they have more resources anyway? Because everybody pays attention to them and nobody pays attention to Southeast Asia. That's why they have more fucking resources to do the things that they do, right? So it's not that we are biased. It's not that we love and worship white people way more. But the thing is that the truth is, if you fucking take out Western sapphic films from the picture completely, even if I were to just look at these Thai GL films, we can really do better lah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Simply put.
We can really do better.
Yeah. I'm pissed, as always.
I know we're going to get cancelled one way or another for this.
Yeah, just because it's your faves doesn't mean you cannot criticize them, okay?
Yeah.
You guys should not confuse idolatry with basically just don't make excuse for your idols.
Yeah. Yeah, don't make excuses, man. Don't make excuses. I feel like that is where a lot of people, I don't know lah, the minute anybody sees a pretty girl or the minute anybody sees two pretty girls kissing each other, especially lesbians, right? They immediately like, oh, this is the best movie ever.
Yeah,
please,
actually, that's
please,
so true.
If all you want to see is girls kissing, just go fucking watch lesbian porn, okay?
Right.
Just watch amateur lesbian porn, okay? If that's all you want to see, right? But if you're talking about a movie, a film, or whatever it is, storyline, plot, all of these things come into play, All of these things come into play. Don't just think that, oh, two girls kissing, that's it.
And also, by the way, most of the people you're supporting on Thai GL are straight.
They are straight, correct.
So you're fighting your ass for all these straight people for what?
No. I remember in the comment section of the video that we made, the sapphic space being like dominated by white lesbians. Yeah, a lot of you have mentioned, to just turn your attention to Thai GL. Fine, you want to say that, fine, it's Thai GL, but all of them are straight, except for Fame Mellerson.
Yeah.
All of them are straight. All of them are straight. So are you really supporting queer people in the end?
Right.
You know, you are like you maybe you're supporting queer content because I don't know lah. I feel like Gap and Blank was directed by a straight man. If I'm not mistaken, it's directed by a straight man. I tried to do as much research as I can, but I couldn't really find much. It's just I found somebody's Instagram, and the profile picture did look like a man, and his entire feed just looks like it's full of films with two girls kissing. It's always that. So I think Blank and Gap was directed by a straight man. I don't fucking know, right?
Yeah, but
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, but the matter of fact is that you guys be telling us all these kind of things, and then if we say like they are straight, and then you are going to come back to us and say stupid things like, yeah, but you know we all need to get somewhere. Shut the fuck up! Don't say that kind of shit anymore. If we want to push for better, we need to keep pushing because like you are just like feeding into this. Okay, pretty much like what she said. It is directed by a straight man. Like I just feel like. Sometimes a lot of these things, they are problematic and they should be called out because they are feeding into the fantasies of a straight man. They're not made with queer audience in the mind.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times they aren't. A lot of times they are too because you can really tell when a film is made that is targeting queer people specifically because you can tell that the essence of the experience is very queer coded. But there are some, these people just watch like Yuri and lesbian porn. And that's all the experiences and things they know about lesbianism, you know, and you can feel it from a show, I feel. And so like if you guys just keep like accepting crumbs like that, right? It's going to take us a super damn long time to get to the representation that is actually a lot more representative of us, you know. It cannot always be like two straight girls who are like kissing and all that. It has to be more than that. And I'm sure people know that in the queer experience, like, this is not the only experience that's happening. And if you notice, in a lot of Thai GLs, all of them look straight as fuck.
Yeah.
Because not only are they straight, a lot of them look straight as fuck.
Look straight.
So
yeah,
I also just feel like that in itself, they are straight as fuck and they are also of a certain colour only.
Yes, correct.
So I just feel like that in itself is not even like covering like 10% of the queer experience.
It's not diverse enough. It's really not diverse enough.
No, and guess what? A lot of them also don't have queer friends. Except, was it Blank or Gap? Where there was like some queer friends.
Yeah. It was I can't remember. I think it was Gap.
Gap.
Yeah.
And The Secret of Us lah. That's it lor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, and yeah, the reason why I say it's also not diverse enough is, like you mentioned, they're only of a specific color. If you all know Thai people, there are also Thai people who are darker skin color, if you realize that. But you don't see that in... That's why we were saying how it follows after Korean films a lot. It's because there's always this specific aesthetic that you need the actors and actresses to have.
Yeah.
When in reality, Thailand is full of people... Different shades of brown also got lah, please. Okay, and a lot of them look like Malays. Like Malays actually, So there are obviously darker skinned Thai people, but you never see them represented there.
Yeah.
Even oh my god, I cannot lah. All four series that we watched, not a single dark skinned person.
No, and they always like to take like a Asian.
Yeah, there is always a Asian who's the main character. It's always a Asian.
Yeah. So guys, this is the bare minimum we are demanding. It's not even like that big of a deal.
Yeah, and I don't understand because like majority of them, first of all, there's nobody who presents themselves in a different manner. There's no like, for example, there's no stamps, there's no butchers, there's no masks, there's no, like, you don't present lesbians in all the forms and all the forms that they should be presented in. Like this is basically something like fucking lesbian porn lah, where like straight men think it's just two femmes scissoring. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's really not that. There's been so many cases where people will find out that somebody is a lesbian in real life and they'll be like, oh, there's a lesbian can look like that, a lesbian can look like this, and they don't realize lesbians can look a certain way because they only know either porn or strictly butch and femme.
Yeah.
But they don't realize.
And at most we're gonna get is a woman wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Like that's about it. A pantsuit and call it a day.
Correct.
Literally.
Correct.
But if you actually know lesbians in your life, you know we literally look like the characters from Dumb Ways to Die.
What? What?
You know Dumb Ways to Die?
I know Dumb Ways to Die, but I don't know the characters.
Wait, you try to Google. But I'm trying to tell you guys that we are a lot more diverse than what is presented.
Oh wait, this is my mom's astrology chart. Dumb Ways to Die characters. Happy Tree Friends. Every time I watch little snippets of it, I'm like, hell no, I'm never watching this shit again. What the fuck?
Yeah, we all look like that. Like, you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Who is this fucker?
Who's that? No idea. But the point is, we are more yeah, this is how all the gays look like. Like, literally. You don't see this in Thai GL. Anyway, Google Dumb Ways to Die characters and then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't already know Dumb Ways to Die's characters.
Oh, it's cute though. Look at that.
Yeah. I should take a quiz which Dumb Ways to Die character I am.
Oh, cute. But yeah, point is, it's not diverse enough. Secondly, is that they're just throwing kissing scenes at us. They're just throwing kissing scenes at us to string us along. They are not actually putting in thought properly. They're not properly putting in thought into the shows that they're putting out because we are just consuming whatever it is that we can consume. Unless we show them that we actually know what the fuck it is that we're watching, only then they'll put in effort. And to be honest, as a queer person who has very little representation, why wouldn't I want effort to be put in for content that is made for us? to represent us. We should demand more.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes I wish like the GLs aren't just so like romance centered. I wish they touch on like a lot more issues. Are you watching porn?
I'm not watching porn. Somebody sent me this.
What's that? Who sent you that?
She's very pretty.
Can I see? Oh my god, I thought she was white. I didn't know that was a scarf. Oh, she's really pretty.
She's very pretty.
She's gay?
No, she has a boyfriend.
Then why is there a rainbow sign on her?
Huh? Rainbow sign. With, I don't know, fucking know lah. There's some straight people, they Yeah. Point is, guys, demand for better. Show them that you know what you're fucking watching. Because we are queer people. Queer people are creative. Queer people are smart.
Yeah, queer people are really smart actually.
We're brilliant. We're fucking brilliant. Don't just watch something and then, you know, get thrown something cheap and be like, oh my god, yes, I'm fine with this, I'll settle. Also, point is, all of you settle way too fucking easily. That's why all of you are fucking unhappy in all of your relationships and you are unhappy with your jobs and you're unhappy with your lives, okay? So, point is, all of you just settle way too much. You all settle way too much. Doesn't matter if it's for Thai GL, for whatever, this, that, relationships, women, whatever it is, your career, all settle too much. Stop fucking settling. You are queer, you're already experiencing life as shitty as it can fucking get. Not just oppression as a queer person, but also oppression as a person of color, and then oppression as a woman!
Yeah, seriously.
On top of all of that, you're fighting all of that, and you're gonna tell me that you wanna fucking settle after experiencing your life like that? Hell fucking no, okay?
Yeah, fuck that.
Demand for more.
Literally. Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to say also, I kind of wish like there was more stuff that touch on like other topics besides romance.
Yeah!
Because like, for example, like, again, to emphasize, we don't kiss ass to white people, but there are a lot more diverse topics in Western sapphic media, even though it's dominated by white people. Okay, fuck that. Like, okay, for example, right, like Orange is the New Black. I think Orange is the New Black is one of the more like, how to say, it's very intersectional lah. They talk about a lot of issues. It's a very lesbian show, but they still talk about like racism. They still talk about like prison, and they still talk about like crime and all these things. So they really do try to introduce to the audience like very, very like complex topics, which I feel like as queer people we have rich experiences that are traumatic, by the way, that I think is worth bringing light into. And also like at the same time, I feel like the queer experience is not just about romance, even though romance is a huge part of it. Yeah. But I feel like when a show is more well-rounded like that, I think I can appreciate it more, because for me lah, at least for me, I think there's already enough romance-centered shows out there. Yes. I feel like what's not enough is like these other parts of our lives about being queer that is not represented enough. Correct. Like for example, another show that I think does this really well is like sex education. Like sex education, they talk about a lot of things. I mean, it's mostly sex related, but it's not just like romance centered. In fact, the romance part is the most annoying part of the show. Yeah, and even like, yeah, there's this one show I always talk about is Little Fires Everywhere. It's a show that is about like, the main character is like a lesbian. Queer, I'm not too sure, but I think she's a lesbian. She never seemed any interest in men. But the issue is the same as well. They also talk about like racism, they talk about poverty, they talk about like privilege. So it feels like when I watch the show, I'm a lot more impacted by it, you know. And I'm also the kind of person where I believe when you make a show, it should be impactful. Yeah. Because there's just so much work put into it. Yes. Okay, for example, you want to get a tattoo, it's not impactful, that's fine. Like, nobody gives a fuck about that. But I think when it comes to putting out film, it has to be impactful. And if it's just for the lols, right, it just shows the money to throw around lah, you know. But for me personally as an audience, and especially like when it comes to queer film, I want it to impact me in some sort of way, you know. And I just feel like I'm okay if it's just like hee hee ha ha comedy or even just like romance. I'm okay with that, but there's already so many of it. So it's like, why do I want to go through another one that is like that? Why can't I have something different? This is specifically for Southeast Asia, by the way, because Southeast Asia, the film is, I mean, the shows and everything are all romance-centered. At most, you see homophobia, which is not even like...
Slight homophobia.
Yeah, slight homophobia only. It's not even like full-blown homophobia. I'm not to say that, you know, that should be in every show, but the point is, for example, you watch Secret of Us, it's just the mother being homophobic and saying what will people think of us, but the repercussions is just verbal. So, you know what I mean? They don't really show systemic things that affect the person.
Correct. I agree. And the thing is that, like, okay, if you wanna, we always talk about how Southeast Asians have so much more culture, so many more layers to being queer. We can very easily show that. We can show that.
Literally.
How does our culture intertwine with being queer, the queer experience? It's obviously very different from the Western world. We can show it.
Yeah. In fact, we are straying away from it. That's what's happening. You know, and I just feel like personally, let's say personally, if I'm a Thai person, but I feel like I get to speak on this because I'm Southeast Asian. But as a Southeast Asian person, I don't want people to watch like the most representative parts of our film industry, like the media and everything, and they watch Thai GLs. I don't want them to think our only problem is just homophobia, and from parents, like nothing systemic, nothing societal.
Correct.
Like there is zero scenes or zero representation on these kind of real issues that we face. And by the way, we face fuck tons of oppression all the damn time. Okay, that is even worse than the Western world. So I just feel like that's not even represented, which is like then people are just gonna look at our stuff and think that we are the same. But
that we have life easy.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And I think one thing about film is that it is also supposed to really show people and educate people about things. It can be used as a form of education too. So I just feel like it's not being done justice, you know. There can be so much more depth to a story. There really can be. I'll give you an example, right? Obviously, these are all very serious issues, and all the more reason we should fucking take our sapphic films more seriously, right? The caning in, was it Kelantan? The caning in Kelantan amongst two women. You could do a story based on something real. For example, the stories that you have heard us reading out in the episodes, a police officer, you know, all these kind of issues. There have been many cases, especially with sapphics. With sapphics especially, two women always being this kind of shit lah, you know? Like with our friend too, and you know, it's not like these things don't exist. These things fucking exist. If you are dying for a fucking story, just fucking make it like a proper, like show people what actually happens. Show people what happens in this country, in that country, and what you know. And I feel like those are the best films, honestly. Those are the best films because it really, if you're able to immerse the person in whatever story it is that you're trying to tell. It doesn't even have to be a complex story. If you're able to find a way to immerse the person in that story, make them feel the emotions that the character is feeling, that is honestly good enough. Because you're highlighting actual real life things.
Right. And I don't feel like we are even like out of ideas. We haven't even milked any of it. Like, what ideas have we milked out of all of this? Nothing.
No, I think just everybody is just not being thoughtful enough. You're not being thoughtful. You are very cheap with your ideas. Very, very cheap with all of the stupid fucking marketing tactic. That's the first thing that goes into your head. The first thing that goes into your head when it comes to queer stuff, two women kissing, no, it should not be that. It should be the fucking queer experience. It should be fucking oppression. It should be fucking like issues with family, issues with culture, all of this getting disowned and all of that. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of people face this on a day-to-day, and maybe that's not what we want to focus on. But why is it so many different production houses? I would assume there's at least 3 different production houses producing all these Thai GL. 3, but they're all focused on the same thing. Why is not? Let's say you want one happy-go-lucky, fine happy-go-lucky. You can have happy films, have your happy films, but you have to have something to, you know, communicate something that actually happened lah. You want fantasy, you also can have fantasy. You get what I mean? Don't constantly recycle the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and just because like this one show had success like over the years, it doesn't mean everybody has to replicate that trope. Like just make something new. I know y'all be replicating the same damn trope because that worked for Gap. And then like everything else is following suit. Yeah.
That's it lor. That's the story lor. That's the tea, guys.
Yeah.
It's been 45 minutes.
Okay.
That works.
Anyway, that's what we wanted to talk about with you guys today. Actually, we didn't even expect to make this
No,
episode.
we didn't.
It just came like as a light bulb moment just now when we were watching, and then we were just like, not this again. And actually, we didn't have anything to say about the affair because it was going pretty well until the non-consensual stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And so we were like, you know what? There's actually a fucking pattern in all these shows. And it's not a good thing.
Yeah. Waiting for everybody to get bored of it, basically. Get bored of it. Just get bored of it and start tweeting and doing your thing and asking for more. Just
Please.
start.
Oh my god. We need to demand more.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode.
Thank you. We'll
Buy
catch
us
you in the
coffee.
next one. Yeah, buy us coffee.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.
So do you want to get a drink?
Now,
Yeah.
can we